It's the beginning of Lent, as many Christians across the world observe the 40 days Lenten fast. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Happy Ash Wednesday, and welcome to the pages of Jamaica Magazine. Today we visit the walls of the Philippo Baptist Church and unfold some historical elements of this religious sanctuary. We're also learning about practices commonly associated with the traditional Easter season. Come with us on this divine journey and experience more after these messages.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs round here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Walls of bricks, stones with stories of olden days to tell. The Philippo Baptist Church stands with 200 years of rich history. Come with me as we visit this historic establishment that is still the place of solace and worship for over 1,000 members.
It was our own national hero, the Right Excellent Sam Sharp, an enslaved man and a freedom fighter who said, "I would rather die upon yonder gallows than live in slavery." That sentiment was also shared by many other slaves. But the fight for freedom and the hope for victory brought liberation to many. Right here in Jamaica, the movement to end slavery was very active, and landmarks across the island document this part of our history.
We are on the Emancipation Trail, and we're looking at the symbolic parts of Jamaica which relate to emancipation, a very important change of status in our country. We're here in the Philippo Baptist Church compound in Spanish Town. Spanish Town is a very old city, founded in 1539, I believe, and this particular site was where the Baptists created a congregation in 1818. And this church, built by the Baptists at the time of Reverend Philippo, was part of the congregation that was very supportive of the move to emancipate all enslavement. And that is a magnificent building going back probably close to 200 years. This church is very historic. Right here, under this tamarind tree, and identified by this plaque, is the slave chains which were buried on August the 1st, 1838. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Deacon Ivan O'Connor, a member of this congregation, who is going to tell us some more about this very historic site and its relationship to emancipation.
I understand that part of the Declaration of Emancipation was read from the steps of this church. And a deep hole was dug right here, and all the chains that were available were put in there and covered. And a tamarind tree was put there as a monument. I understand that the first tamarind tree was destroyed by the 51 hurricane, but it was replaced. And it stands here now as a monument where people can come and get tamarind and remember the slavery chains.
And touch the monument,
right,
as part of our experience,
right, it is here
of
as a
what
reminder.
Emancipation was all about.
Right.
But I also think we have to remind ourselves that the original official declaration was read from the steps of King's House,
That's
the facade which is still in front of the square.
That square is Emancipation Square, which is also in Spanish Town and just a few meters away from the Philippo Baptist Church. Here was once the town center. Other important buildings in the square include the Old House of Assembly, Rodney's Memorial, and the old courthouse. The area was severely damaged by fire as well as the 1692 earthquake, but parts of the buildings have since been restored and put to use. Back over at the Philippo Baptist Church,
We want to reaffirm how important the Baptist movement and denomination was to emancipation. They were major players in persuading the English government to declare free at last, emancipation on the 1st of August 1838.
and it is believed that the chains of slaves were buried at the Philippo Baptist Church due to its close proximity to Emancipation Square and the unrelenting movement by the Baptist Church to put an end to slavery.
Somebody said some time ago, how can we write the history of Jamaica without including the Baptists? The Baptists were one of the churches that were very integral to the teaching of the slaves and emancipation. James Philippo was one of the persons who was integral in getting emancipation for the slaves in Jamaica.
While emancipation was declared for slaves, their conditions were not improved. So the movement for a more just society was challenged by Paul Bogle and George William Gordon. They were also part of the Baptist movement and later became two of our national heroes. As a result of this involvement, Baptist work in Jamaica became an enduring symbol of the church's opposition to slavery and all other forms of injustice.
This building was put up sometime about 1827 thereabout, and has been maintained over time. It's a natural heritage site, and so the National Heritage Trust has control over what happens here. Right after emancipation, James Philippo established free villages like in Sligoville, in parts of Clarendon, and also in, established churches. So this church is steeped in our history in Jamaica.
Coffee was introduced to Jamaica in 1728. Creighton Estate was established around 1765, and the Blue Mountain Range and the central region of Jamaica, which is the Grand Ridge of Jamaica, were the major coffee producing regions. Currently, we are fully certified under the Rainforest Alliance, and we are the very first entity in the Caribbean region to attain that certification. Now, the Blue Mountain Range of Jamaica is a microclimate of the island and has provided the perfect conditions for growing the Arabica coffee. A typical day in the Blue Mountain, the most sunlight is in the mornings from about 11:32 to 4 p.m. You know, this is the weather that we experience. This is a norm in the Blue Mountain. It's nothing unusual, you know, for the range to be covered with mist. And after sunset, the temperature basically goes below 20 degrees Celsius. So those are the perfect ingredients to develop high quality coffee. You know, the culture here is rich. We're an extremely creative, you know, set of people. In Jamaica, there's everything. If you're a nature lover, we have it. If you like the wetlands, we have it. You know, great coffee, you know, great food. You know, God has been good to us. You know, the God has been good to us. The universe has been good to us, you know, as a country. You know, and, this rock, I love it, man. I love it.
Now, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word Easter? For some, it might be the image of the crucifixion, while for others, it's bun and cheese, school being on break, or a trip to the beach with your family and friends. But there are so many other practices associated with the season. Here's a little refresher.
Easter, a holiday for some to relax on the beach with family and friends, or just hang out at their favorite spots. But for Christians, the day, also known as Resurrection Sunday, takes on a deeper meaning. It marks the day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. This, of course, followed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ 3 days before, which is called Good Friday.
He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told while he was still with you in Galilee, The Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again.
Easter Sunday is the culmination of the Passion of Jesus, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. At the heart of the matter is God's love for humanity. Over the years, a mixture of traditions and practices have been perpetuated, like placing egg white in a container of water on Holy Thursday night so that by Good Friday you will see your future. This is determined by the pattern which is formed by the coagulating egg white. Then there is the eating of bun and cheese. This custom dates back to Britain with the eating of hot cross buns on Good Friday. It's a small, round, slightly sweet bun made with a cross cut on the top, which is understood as a symbol of the crucifixion, thus the name hot cross bun, which was only sold during specific times such as Good Friday. The British brought this custom when they settled in Jamaica. Though the practice has diminished in Britain, it is still prevalent here in Jamaica. Of course, we've added our spices to the bun mixture and a faithful partner, cheese. Bun and cheese is mainly eaten during the Easter holiday. There is also the practice of some Jamaicans to cut the physic nut or bleeding tree around midday on Good Friday. It is believed that the sap will seep a red substance that signifies the blood of Jesus. It's also believed that the crucifixion was carried out on a similar type of tree. Numerous churches are decorated with the Easter lily during the holiday. It's a plant which seems to appropriately bloom on Easter Sunday. The Easter lily symbolizes purity, innocence, and virtue due to its snow-white color and white trumpet. Another custom is the exclusion of meat for the Lenten period. That's 40 days after Ash Wednesday, with fish being the main staple on many tables.
It's always beautiful in Jamaica. Everything usually be green and pretty. We have beautiful water. Temperature that is normal temperature, the water never cold. We've been into business for about 13 years. JUSC-COOL, just cool. It's spelled with 3 0. We make 3 different types of pudding. We make potato, we make cornmeal, and we make toto. This is the cornmeal, okay? That's actually almost the last process. What he's gonna do now, he's gonna put a gel on top. Within no time, he has to take it off because the gel give it a nice taste. We have people like Shelley and Fraser came here. We have, you could name the biggest artists, Shabba Ranks, name them all. Being the Man, they all come here and buy their pudding. This is what we grew up on. Now, when the people come to Jamaica, everybody, as soon as they land off the plane, this is where they come. They want to taste this pudding because it's bringing them back to the old days. The long time days when they was kids growing up and they used to sit on the fire and watch their mama or their grandmother bake the pudding. We try not to change off our roots, we try to keep it that way. And not only that, we have a lot of love because we're all about love.
Fish is a common protein on many tables during this season, and its nutritional benefits are far-reaching. But lest you forget, here's a little reminder about the benefits of incorporating seafood into your diet.
We all love our protein: chicken, beef, pork. But how often do we eat fish? Is it only at Easter time or when you're at the beach? Incorporating more fish into your diet can be very beneficial to your health. Compared to red meats and poultry, fish has far less calories and cholesterol.
It's the saturated fats and the trans fats that our bodies use to make cholesterol. And fish and seafood have very little saturated fat and trans fat. So in truth and in fact, that makes it a very healthy source of protein.
Fish also has iron, which is important for good reasoning and memory, iodine, which can prevent mental problems in children, and selenium, vitamins, and carotenoids, which are antioxidants. Who knew that we could get so many nutrients from fish? And that's not all. Incorporating fish into our diet can even reduce the chances of developing certain diseases.
Studies have in fact shown that people who have a higher intake of fish compared to other meat sources have less heart disease, they suffer from fewer mood disorders, and they have less cognitive decline with age, so less dementia.
This is due to omega-3 fatty acids, a nutrient that is only found in a few other food sources, such as walnuts and flax seeds. But oily fish, such as sardines, tuna, mackerel, salmon, and trout, are excellent sources of omega-3s and are readily available at your convenience in supermarkets. So we want to add fish into our diet. In what ways can we do this?
So escovitch fish is one of our favorites. Now the onions and the carrots and the vinegar and the pimento, that's all fine. But we don't want to do a lot of deep frying. Deep frying adds calories. Nothing like a nice steamed fish, a nice roast fish. And when you roast your fish, you can stuff it with wonderful vegetables like callaloo and so on. So we have to find other ways. Many of us have broilers as a part of our stove and we've never utilized it. We don't know how it's used. And that gives us, I think, the closest taste to fried without adding a lot of oil.
So we've got different styles of cooking the fish, but what about flavor? Jamaicans love adding salt, but fish is already salty. Wouldn't that be too much sodium?
If we utilize other things like lime and lemon juice and or fresh seasonings or scotch bonnet pepper or onions or scallion, we can make our fish flavorful without adding a lot of extra sodium.
That sounds really tasty, but watch out for bones. Make sure to debone fish before giving your children. Even if the fish is bought deboned, check for fine bones with your fingers. If you're not careful, you could end up with a medical emergency. The recommended serving size per week is only 8 to 9 ounces of fish, or 2 to 3 servings per week. With an array of health benefits and a variety of ways to cook it, don't miss out on this lifestyle choice. Make a positive impact on your health by adding more fish to your diet.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
And it's always a good time to come to Jamaica and join us in a rich cultural experience. Now, here are just a few reasons to do so.
Living in Jamaica is an experience that you cannot put in words. There's an energy in the atmosphere that just feels good. There are so many aspects of Jamaica that I think makes it second to none. The best food, the best music, the best people. We can go on and on about the good things about living in Jamaica.
The prolific artist is one of 9 faces selected by the Jamaica Tourist Board to beckon visitors to join them in the home of all right. The Jamaica Tourist Board is banking on the reach and popularity of social media to go where they have never gone before. To connect with potential visitors, hopefully to convince them to book a trip to the island based on the stories of these personalities who will pop up on their timeline. The hashtag Join Me in Jamaica digital marketing videos, each about 90 seconds, are disseminated via the Tourist Board's social media platforms.
Come out and meet us, come out and experience what Jamaica has to offer.
The Songbird and Dancehall Prince join the likes of the coffee expert, the sister cooks, the hotel chef, the pudding man, the Rasta artist, and the entrepreneur.
And as we started kind of working on this and coming up with some ideas, and Join Me in Jamaica evolved, we settled on that because it's a great call to action. But it's deeper than that. It enables the people we talk with to say, why join me in Jamaica?
Name them all. Being a man, they all come here and buy their pudding. This is what we grew up on. Now, when the people come to Jamaica, everybody, as soon as they land off the plane, this is where they come. They want to taste this pudding because it's bringing them back to the old days.
You talk about scripting things or putting things together, and you hope for words and magic. And then you try to get somebody to deliver that line. It's just not real. But when we hiked to the top of Blue Mountain in the rain, to the top, we sit there and talk to him, and his face lit up, and his smile was just so infectious, and all of a sudden he comes out with, God has been good to us. The universe has been good to us. This rock, I love it.
I love it.
These videos will now populate our social space, and we'll be able to have connectivity to every corner of the world. And the language part of it, yes, we've worked on, and the technology allows instant translation.
It doesn't mean that we will not do traditional advertising anymore. Because if that is in anybody's mind, then we need to disabuse ourselves of that. In anybody's mind, then we need new space. We can reach more people in places that we could never even think of reaching them before. 1, because of costs, 2, because of logistics, 3, because it's just not profitable to do. A content-rich communication to the world about what makes Jamaica special. And who best to tell that story but some very hardcore, well-enabled, well-entrenched Jamaicans who have served Jamaica in many ways, different ways, in a very authentic way, tell their own story about why anybody should join them in Jamaica.
Every Jamaican has this passionate, loving story, and we want to capture that and share it with the world, because I believe the rest of the world could learn a little bit from Jamaica. One love.
We're taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The plea bargain legislation has been passed. Many persons charged with serious crimes are spending several years behind bars. It did not have to happen. Accept responsibility for your wrongdoing. Get a lighter sentence. Watch your children grow. Please, don't gamble with your future.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
persons. I love to explore, and I love to pull and fix. I'm curious about life and what it's worth.
I'm a part of the Special Olympics team for Westmoreland.
I'm also a Special Olympian. I'm proud to be one.
I have a lot of medals, but the bad thing about it is not a lot of gold, but it's medals.
As the first race I won, I came dead last.
A guy run left me, and this year I went back to Kingston, and I make up my mind and say, you know what?
I don't make no Kenyan person run left me again.
Because guess what? I want it 1 out of 1. I don't want to be 2-0.
So I take it, and for the whole week, I train until that the race will come. I'm win it by far.
And accomplish, will achieve.
The experience was nice. I learned some new things. I learned, sir, and every time I can take shortcut in our work.
Thank you for the National Youth Service. I think God put it on this earth, really, for people with disability. It is a great program, a wonderful program. It helped me to realize a lot of things in this world, so I can think about other things and go at them, not just sit at home and playing games, watching TV, because I know that won't help me.
We have been privileged to go through this experience with all of these young persons. It has been both a learning experience for us, the staff at the NYS, as well as the young persons. We saw the young persons developing their own personal and professional skills. If you or someone you know has an intellectual disability, you can refer them to the National Youth Service, where our program fully caters to their personal and professional needs, where we will be sure to assist them in transitioning into the world of work.
The National Youth Service, empowering Jamaica's young people.
So today is one of 4 Christian holidays marked on our calendar, and it is strategically placed 40 days before Easter Sunday. You might know that it's a tradition in Roman Catholic and Protestant movements, but there is so much more to Ash Wednesday. 4 points. Number 1. Ash Wednesday is known to be celebrated as early as the 5th century, and at that time it was called the Day of Ashes. Number 2. In Jamaica, it's widely recognized as a day to spend in churches, fellowshipping. Number 3. In some denominations, ashes blessed by a priest are applied to the foreheads of sinners, usually in the shape of a cross. They kneel at the altar to ask for forgiveness, and the ashes are used as a sign of humility, sorrow, and repentance. Number 4 and last, fasting and prayer is usually observed on this day. So as you go through the day, spare a thought to the true meaning of Ash Wednesday. Observe the holy practice, and let's all come together to make Jamaica the place of choice, to live, work, raise families, and do business. And that's all we have for you on today's show, but if you missed anything, you can watch it again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. Remember to join in the Easter celebrations and take some time out to understand the true meaning behind the season. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. You take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.